Good day, YouTubians. Purple Mentat here, and finally getting out the vlog that I have promised after missing another 3-day weekend. Sorry about that. So, the long and the short of it, I've been thinking about this vlog for a while and exactly how I should present things. Oh, by the way, game in the background, Faster Than Light. I hit the Steam sale recently. I might still be up there when this comes out, I'm not certain. Fantastic game that I've had for a while that I'm absolutely terrible at, so I started a new playthrough from the beginning so you guys could watch me fail while I talked. The gameplay is completely unimportant to this video, so feel free to ignore it and just keep this on in the background, listening to my lovely baritone, I think. I really don't know that much about voices, as I tell you exactly how screwed up I am in the head. So, long story short, I have some mental health issues that have been getting in the way of me getting my recording done recently. I don't know if... Alright, so what I mean is, a long time ago, I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. However, the criteria for that and the diagnosis therein has changed and shifted over time. I don't know if it quite properly applies anymore. What I do know is that some of the classic symptoms of borderline personality disorder definitely apply to me. Specifically, impulsivity, a short temper, the tendency to split things black or white, as in, you could be the most awesome person in the world, and then all it takes is one insult, and you are the worst person ever, and I hate you. Until I don't, and then you're amazing. It's kind of tough, and I've had to really learn those shades of gray over time, and I'm not always good at keeping them in mind. And then, most notably, the ones that are directly interfering with me right now, as I've got a pretty good handle on my temper and on my the splitting issue, are depression and anxiety. Those are the symptoms that I'm dealing with. I don't know what the overall diagnosis is, if it's still borderline personality disorder or if it's something else, but those have been keeping me from being in a good headspace to create the content that I want to put on the channel. And also a little bit of guilt, but we'll get into that in a moment. So, depression, if you don't know what it is, I recommend doing some Googling on it. I'm not really the best person to explain it all in detail. What it means for me is some mornings I wake up and I don't want to be awake. I don't want to be there. I don't want to exist at that time. I no longer really have suicidal thoughts. I used to, and it got to a point that I was in serious fear for myself, and I checked myself into an institution for a couple of weeks. And that was great. They got me all set up with some medications that helped out amazingly. I got into therapy, and life was good for a long time after that. So why is my depression bothering me now? Well, because the US medical system is kind of screwed. I was, at the time when I went into the mental institution, the short-term clinic is what it was referred to, I had insurance. And for a while after that, I was able to still have insurance because I was poor. And Medicaid is actually pretty fantastic insurance. However, you only qualified for Medicaid at the time if you were making so little money that you couldn't actually afford to both pay rent and feed yourself. If you could do those two things, well, you couldn't afford Medicaid. I mean, you were too rich for Medicaid. You weren't allowed to have it. So I got myself fixed. I got better. I got a job. I did well in that job. I was on a path to an actual career. This was with McDonald's, of all places, but I was doing very well, and I really enjoyed the work I was doing. I got into the training program, and then I was in the management program, heading up training for the store, and it was going to go somewhere. But because I was making somewhere around 15 grand a year, which is not nearly enough money to actually pay for the kind of therapy and medication I need. I no longer qualified for Medicaid. And the insurance that McDonald's offered at the time was really, really poor. It was not good. You ended up spending a significant portion of your paycheck, and it didn't actually give you much in the way of benefit for my issues. To try to pay for my medicine and my therapy out of pocket would have cost me almost my entire paycheck every month. I would have had nothing left over for food and rent. So I did my best to do without it, and I stopped going to therapy, and I stopped taking my medications, and somewhere between 6 and 12 months later, I'd have to sit down with a calendar to figure out the actual timeline, I crashed and burned because I need therapy and I need medications to deal with the fact that my brain chemistry does not function properly. I don't function without them. And if it weren't for the charity of a good friend of mine from high school, I probably would not be here today, because my other alternative was likely homelessness. And I only got myself back together a couple of years ago, really, when I found some alternatives and I started doing a lot of self-care, a lot of self-help books, and St. John's Wort, actually, which is a good kind of stopgag, but not nearly as effective of an antidepressant as the one that I was taking. Also, I have to take like 6 pills a day, and I frequently forget to take them, which means, then I have a day where I go into a tailspin, and I sit and I play Creeper World 3 for 14 hours without showering or eating because everything sucks and I don't want to face the world. And to those of you who don't believe that mental health issues exist and I just need to have the sheer willpower to get myself together, I tried that. I crashed and burned hard, and I'm lucky to be alive now after that. So you guys can go straight to hell. Seriously. It's an issue. It's a legitimate medical condition. It is no different than diabetes or MS or cancer in that this is not something I chose, and it's not something I can just control through sheer willpower. It exists. Deal with it. I've gotten a lot of "you should just be stronger than this" from family who don't really believe in mental health and what it means and think I can 12-step my way past my issues. And that's just not how it works. Anyway, that's a whole nother sore subject. So that's like the depression side of things. No matter what I do these days, I take vitamin D supplements, I take St. John's Wort, I exercise every day, I get enough sunlight, I do all of the things I'm supposed to do. I eat a healthy diet, healthy-ish. I like my sweets, and I am overweight. But no matter what I do to self-manage my depression, it continues to be an issue. Oh, look. There I go. Yep. Terrible at this game. And I know of a medication that worked fantastically for it. Unfortunately, just staying in therapy without insurance, the cost of the meds now aren't the problem. They used to be, because Cymbalta was what was effective for me, and that was like a $400 a month prescription before the changes and the fact that it's now available in generic. Now the prescription itself is only around $135 a month, and that's something I can afford. The therapy visits, on the other hand, are not, because if I go to a therapist every other week and I visit a psychiatrist once a month, then we're talking somewhere on the order of $600 to $900 a month, depending on what's available in this area. And I know that with what's available in this area and the people that are trained to deal with my conditions, it's going to be more like the $900. So we're talking over $1,000 a month for me to just function at the moment. And because I'm living with my partner, I can't qualify for low-income assistance insurance because and now starting YouTube, I probably make too much money anyway. The last time I looked into it, New York State Medicaid stopped at around $700 a month. So I may be able to turn YouTube into starting therapy and medication sometime very soon, if things continue to progress and grow. But I still need to, I'm going to have to knuckle down and keep making videos for you guys and for myself, or that's not going to happen because, you only make money on YouTube when you put out videos and you get the views. Anyway, I'm rambling all over the place because I'm extremely nervous talking about this sort of stuff. So apologies that this is so disorganized. It's not going to change. Um, where was I? Depression. Yes. Some days can't get out of bed. Some days feel all kinds of motivated for the first half of the day and then just want to hide in a hole. Anxiety is the other side of the coin. Sharing these videos with you guys has helped a lot with that, actually. Just talking, getting my voice out there, all of the comments and compliments I get from you guys about how, like, I get frequently, regularly compared to a guy with 1.5 million subscribers. I have seen comments about comparing me to Etho repeatedly. It's a huge boost in my confidence, and it really helps with my anxiety. But that doesn't change the fact that actually recording my voice and putting it on the internet is stressful, very stressful. If I was not suffering from anxiety the way I am, and I say suffering at the moment, normally I talk about my mental health issues and I say I live with them because I don't let them stop me. But lately, the past few weeks, they've been stopping me. So right now I'm suffering from it. But if I wasn't suffering from it, then it probably wouldn't be an issue for me to get out a couple of videos a day. A lot of my slowdown is nerves and being scared and just... I don't like it. I don't like feeling afraid of walking out of my front door. I don't like feeling worry about putting a video on the internet talking about things. And I don't even know what I'm worried about, Like, I have no good rational explanation for it, and that's the part that bothers me the most, because honestly, if I put something up like that and no one likes it and no one watches it, who cares? It doesn't matter. I just make another video and try again. Look at my first Agrarian Skies episode. I think that was terrible, and so many people thought it was amazing and kept watching and subscribed. There's just no good explanation for it, and that drives me nuts. I'm a very logical, rational person, and I would love to believe that I could just keep my emotions in check through sheer logic, and I feel like I should be able to do that, and I can't. And it infuriates me. So then, when I get very nervous, I start thinking about all of the bad things that have happened in my life, and I think about all of the people that I've hurt, and I get very depressed. So there's that. And because I'm in the situation that I'm in, because of my mental health and because of my past with people that I cared a lot about, who I hurt because I didn't know that my behavior and actions and emotions were wrong or bad in any way, I thought that it was just normal. Sometimes you feel an empty void where your emotions should be. Sometimes you feel a blinding, seething rage that makes you want to hurt something. That's normal, right? Well, I learned about 6 years ago that it isn't. And before that, in the 25 years of my life before that, I hurt a lot of people and I burned a lot of bridges. And I have people that I care a lot about that are no longer in my life because of it. So I get guilt over the fact that I am now successful and I'm doing well for myself, and I feel like I don't deserve it. And then I go into a whole cycle of questioning why, because YouTube is a lot of the times luck. There's no good why for it, It's, I don't know. It's Difficult for me to justify the fact that I have 8,000 subscribers and I'm actually making like real legitimate money off of this endeavor. And it's hard for me to reconcile that with my own feelings of self-worth and value. I don't believe I deserve it. But that's, my own self-esteem and guilt and such. I feel as if I don't deserve what I have going on here. I feel I have not earned it, and I feel that, well, I mean, like, on a grander scale, if we want to talk about it, basically, I feel as if I do not deserve success and happiness because of my past. So there's a lot of things that I need to accept about myself and forgive myself for before that's all going to be going on. So I guess this is, a bit of confessional, a bit of group therapy for me, and as well as being, today's vlog. So thank you for listening to me spiel on about my mental health. I think I've burned through my energy to talk about it right now. That's the basic explanation of why I have been a little inconsistent, well, significantly inconsistent lately. I believe in the month of June, well, let me take a look, but I know that in the month of June I've put out not nearly enough videos. If I open up my channel, head on over to the video manager, yeah. In the 24 days of June so far, I have put out 14 episodes of anything, including a couple of that were supposed to be bonus extras, like the Q&A vlog and Transistor and such. And that's on me. I'm not taking good care of... Well, I mean, I'm taking the best care of myself I know how, but I'm not taking the proper level of care. So, good news to wrap all of this up. As of November, by New York state law, Apollo Cat and I will be considered domestic partners. And I will, or at least maybe not by state law, I think that's only 6 months, but by the definitions of her company, I can get on her insurance once we've lived together for 12 months. So as of November, I will be able to have good insurance, and I will be getting regular health care, and I will have the medications I need to be fully functional. Between now and then, however, I'm having a hard time justifying the level of expense that goes into just getting the treatment anyway, because it's really expensive. Really, really expensive. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to continue my self-management, and I'm going to do my best to stay on top of things and try to keep healthy and motivated and happy. And there are going to be times that I have, a couple of weeks where I just am bad at keeping up on YouTube. So if that makes me a terrible person who you don't want to follow anymore, sorry. But I feel that that's the best thing to do. And when things get stressful in my life, my primary focus, and this is after a lot of conversations between me and my partner, is going to be our home life. So if I'm in a place where I'm stressed out and I feel like I can only get a few hours worth of stuff done in a day, those few hours are going to be spent on laundry and home care, laundry and dishes and vacuuming and taking care of our place rather than making YouTube videos. So I hope you'll understand, and I hope that this vlog helps some people gain a little more awareness that these issues are real and exist, and, they bother a lot of people. I mean, if you want to take a look around the web, Will Wheaton is someone who suffers from similar concerns and takes medication to manage it. So are the people who do Penny Arcade, or at least one of them. I'm not sure if both. In any case, there's a lot of big name celebrities. If you Google like celebrities with depression or celebrities with anxiety, you'll see that there's a lot of people out there that suffer from the same issues and take medications to help with it. Thank you very much for joining me in this very disorganized, rambly vlog. I'm hoping that I will have regular videos coming out again in the very near future, if not later today. And I will see you next time.